blacklight painting looked absolutely amazing. We have an anonymous $500 donation, $500 for 5 nights at Freddy's. I wouldn't take that deal in a million years, but here's hoping Ace Delusional will. And as of right now, we are indeed quite a bit over $30,000. We have $32,000. That is more than a third of the way there. But you all heard Mr. Gaiman shout, that run is coming up soon. So make sure you get your donations in to get that bonus game met. Now, I have just heard from our behind-the-scenes crew that we are all ready to go for our next run. So take it away, SanchoPanda with ICO.
Hey everybody, as he said, I'm SanchoPanda running ICO 60 Hertz. I have RUBIEHART to my left, who will hand me the ukulele at the end of the run. I have Blink to my right, who will lend me his mic. And we
also provide commentary throughout the run or something, I guess.
Are you guys doing that too?
Yeah,
I thought I was handling it all.
Oh, well then that makes my job easy.
I'm about to lean back. Should have planned this out. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Awkward moment, that's okay. Nobody noticed. Very smooth. All right, so we're gonna start the run in 3, 2, 1, go. Woo! So right now, the thing about ICO is the cutscenes actually are part of the in-game timer, so we want to skip them whenever possible. So we're skipping the setup of the story. Ruby, could you tell us a little bit about what we're skipping?
Yeah, absolutely. So the basic setup of this game is you play ICO, a young boy with horns, who has been brought to this gigantic castle. And you find out that boys with horns who are born in a faraway village are brought to this place to essentially be buried alive and sacrificed. We won't get too much into detail with that. We're going to get more details on that later. But you've now been imprisoned in this place because, according to the village, being born with horns is a curse. And something important to note with this particular game and the lore is it is a spiritual successor that is in the same series as Shadow of the Colossus and The Last Guardian. So you'll see a lot of thematic things as well as things that carry over in the level design that all tie into each other. And Fumito Ueda, the genius behind all of the games in this series, wanted to make sure that the stories intertwined, but you were left open to kind of fill in the blanks with your own interpretations. So as you go through this, if you've played those other games in the series, definitely keep an eye out for where you see thematic commonalities between the 3 games, because you can come up with your own theories on how they actually tie together.
Oh, that was really well done.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
So right now, ICO is yelling. Blink, why is ICO yelling?
So when ICO yells, you'll see that he shuffles his feet a little bit. He moves just a little bit faster. What we're doing is we're calling for Yorda, trying to find her, even though we haven't technically met her yet. And so anytime we're not holding Yorda's hand, we're going to be wah, wah, wah during the entire run. So get very used to that sound.
Yep, and for chat, we'd like, if people donate, to tell us what they think ICO is saying. I've got one right here in the chamber to start with. Blink, can you guess what ICO's favorite breakfast is?
Is it waffles?
You are correct. We're getting a clap in the audience for that.
Plenty more to come.
There's plenty of those to come.
You're going to get a lot of those puns throughout this run. It is a Sancho staple.
Yes, it really is.
Now, this particular trick here is actually really interesting. There's just a weird mechanics thing with these windows where if you just fall out the window regularly and aren't holding the joystick forward, ICO will fall all the way forwards way too far, and it makes those jumps a lot harder. But by holding the analog stick forward, you actually can get through more easily. So now, basically with that pull of the lever, Sancho has brought down Yorda. So she is lowering down from her cage, and we'll get to meet her in just a second.
We all kind of like, to keep the pattern here going, we all pick different songs. By the way, Ruby, Blink, and I all have a tendency to burst out into song on our own streams. So having the 3 of us together, I really hope we're able to squeeze some commentary in. But for this one, it works really well with with Survivor by Destiny's Child. Mm-hmm. I'm a survivor, I have a horns, and I will save Yorda. We will get out of here. Okay, the scansion wasn't perfect for that one, but... Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's very funny when you get to the oh and have him going ah in response. So that's one of my favorite parts of the song in particular. Did I just hear someone back at ICO? Because that's amazing.
Call and response.
Okay, if you all do that for the rest of the run, I will be so happy.
Oh gosh, no, but we have something else to give them to do. I'm gonna veto that one. Oops, we don't need to
fair.
cutscene yet. Okay, there we go. And what did we just skip cutscene wise?
Yeah, so something we find out in this cutscene, we finally meet Yorda and help her up, and ICO just asks, "What are you doing here? Are you okay?" And she finds out that this is basically when you find out that he was brought here to be sacrificed.
Oh, that's Yorda.
The other thing we find out is Yorda actually speaks a completely different language. For these games, they wrote a special language called Runic. So the first time you play this game in an any % run, all of Yorda's language will appear in an almost hieroglyphic language or a pictographic language. But if you play it in a new game plus, you find out what the translations are. But for this first run, ICO and Yorda don't actually understand each other. So they have this inherent trust in each other that's just really beautiful to see, even though they can't speak the same language.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And also she has these beautiful electric powers that can help us open doors. So she is quite literally a human lockpick.
Right, and if there's any shadows around when she opens those doors, it releases like a force lightning, which is why I think she's actually a Sith Lord. Like Emperor Palpatine.
Oh, something interesting here. I'm hoping that she doesn't do it. There are going to be some times in this game where Sancho will be focusing very heavily on not only his specific movement, but when he is calling for Yorda. Because if you leave her alone for too long in a room that has birds, she has a tendency to go chase the birds.
Yep, even if there's shadows there. If she doesn't see the shadow, if she sees the bird first, she runs to the bird, even if that bird is next to the shadow.
Mm-hmm. There's also a lot of defending of Yorda in this game because you'll see that we have a stick that we can use in different encounters, and we'll get to more of what that means in a second. But she can't climb chain, she can't really pick up a stick, so a lot of this game is about defending her and keeping her safe.
All right, now, the way you're intended to do this if you play it casually is to get Yorda through a door and do all of this with her. And it actually adds a lot of time to the run. So we're just gonna leave her here. And we haven't abandoned her because we're still in the same load. So there's no shadows that are gonna like try and come and get her as we do all of this puzzle by ourselves. Normally I just jump down to this track from further up, but it's the sort of thing that I would definitely miss in a marathon, and we'd be all the way back at those idle doors that we opened up at the end of the bridge. The checkpoint system in this game is kind of brutal.
The nice thing is some of the harder skips in the game do have benches. Oh, wait.
He's
really
just
quick.
a hornhead guy,
Dun, dun,
born
dun,
to be a sacrifice. He took the midday train going anywhere.
I'm so sorry, I forgot.
That's okay. She's just a caged up girl, longing to see the world. She didn't take the train because that would add 4 minutes to the speed run. Plenty more where that came from. Blink and I did a run a little while ago. We squeezed in about 13 different songs.
Sancho, it also should be noted, you have written multiple parody songs specifically based on this game for the credit sequence because
Yes.
there are actually a few inputs after the credits, so we'll get to hear one of those today.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that part, probably most of all, even more than showing off this amazing game. No, that's probably not true. I hear people still singing. Yeah, if you have ideas for further lyrics, send them to me at SanchoPanda VTW on Twitter.
One thing tech-wise that I think is really interesting with this game is there are a lot of sections, so like that walking onto the crane is actually a lot more complicated than it appears. The main reason for that is the camera tends to set up in very stagnant places that you can move a little bit, but a lot of it is based on ICO's movements and likes to swing around to be more cinematic. So in response, a lot of the speed run has to do with figuring out specific D-pad movements or angles to hold like where he's going. that may not be quite as intuitive, because you may say, okay, I want ICO to walk forward, but that doesn't mean you actually hold forward. It's relative to where the camera is.
Yeah,
So
I think for casual runners, they're not ready for a game that has a fixed camera that's running on rails. It is really hard to just run in a straight line. Like literally, just running in a straight line is a huge challenge for you to start this game.
yeah, and there are also a bunch of jutting edges on a lot of the walls and a lot of the places that have gates. So you can get stuck on those pretty easily, or like lose grip of Yorda's hand. There are a bunch of things that could go wrong just with trying to run in a straight line.
Do you guys know what ICO's favorite Japanese condiment is?
But
Wasabi. I don't know. These are the jokes. Chat, do better.
Here, I'll give you one, Sancho.
Okay.
How did ICO listen to his CDs in the mid-2000s?
Oh my gosh.
through
On
a
his Sony Walkman.
Yeah, I got you. Same brain.
All right, we're about to do a little drop, which can be tricky, and you can easily die on it if you don't do it right. Just to skip running down some staircases. That looks like a good angle. We should survive this.
Nice.
All right, and now I'm going to try and do a tricky bomb toss. If we fail it, we'll lose 30 seconds, but it's really fun. It's only going to save us about, I don't know, like 8 seconds if we do it right.
This is something where most runners of the game have their own version of this setup. There's a bunch of different ways to do it with varying difficulties.
Got it.
And that was perfect.
So we knocked down that pillar to build a ramp so that Yorda will be able to come with us. This is a good time for our first set of donations, because we're doing what's called the Benny Hill segment, where we just kind of run for a while from the shadows while holding Yorda's hand. We will provide some nice soundtrack for you as you read those donations. Musical Daredevil, take it away. No. Take away the donations. We'll take away the...
All right. Well, we have a $25 donation from I'm Just Jace. I know nothing about this run, but I'm excited for ukulele.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We also have, we have a $25 donation from Varchild. Come on! I don't mean to jump scare you all, but Five Nights at Freddy's is well worth the donations. So please, join me in starting a $5 donation train. I am donating 5 times that amount.
We're still going.
Yes, you sure are.
To the next door.
$200 from Merm2. Thank you very much for that donation. We also have an anonymous $75 donation,
Awesome.
as well as an anonymous $100 donation. What a great lineup today of fun games and talented runners. Thanks to all who worked to put this event together.
Thank you so much for all the donations, everyone. Again, it's going to an incredible cause. Keep them coming in.
Yeah, and start to get those something or others.
Wah!
Don't just be subject to mine. All right, so I'm going to explain this cutscene that we're skipping here. Basically what happens is we try to make it through this gate. It closes on us. Yorda's mom shows up like a helicopter parent, and she's like, ICO, you're just a horn boy from a poor family. You can't date my daughter. But I'll spare you your life and I'll let you go free. Just leave her here. And he's like, well, gosh, my whole village just wants me dead. I have no life. It's like easy come, easy go, you know? So will you let Yorda go? And she's like, no, I will not let her go. And he's like, let her go. And she's like, never, no. And then Yorda's like, Mamma mia, let me go. But the queen has a purpose set aside for Yorda.
I forgot that you made it a Bohemian Rhapsody pun and then realized halfway through again that you made it a Bohemian Rhapsody pun, and I'm living for it.
Purpose set aside for Yorda, for Yorda. Oh, that's gonna go too high. I'm not even gonna try it. I wonder at what point people caught on to what I was doing. All right, so we are now setting up a simple trick just to head to the next area. We got those torches going, which is going to allow us to light a bomb to blast through these wooden doors heading here. And that will take us into the graveyard, where we'll see our first real genuine try at a shadow skip that the RNG can really mess with us.
And one of the hardest skips in the game, it should be noted, that can get really, really scary depending on what the shadows actually give Sancho here.
Yeah.
I had to grab Yorda's hand there, or she would have tried to point out the bombs to us, even though we already had one in our hands.
She
She'd be
really
like,
wants you to succeed.
Yes, and it would take, she should just be running right now. She's a little slow that time, a little bit of Yorda time tax, but it's not as bad as her being like over by the bombs saying like, hey, look, Eco bombs. Bombs, Eco. All right, Blink, there's a lot gonna happen here.
Yeah.
Do your best.
So this is graveyard skip. What we're doing is purposefully leaving Yorda at the top because as soon as she comes off those stairs, a bunch of shadows are going to spawn. And we're gonna want to get her all the way to the bottom of this area and stand on a specific pressure plate and have her stay there long enough for us to get in the door that you can see right there.
Right.
If the shadows get too close to her, or just if otherwise it's how she's feeling, Yorda can get scared and walk off or back off. And so we're trying to maximize the chance that she'll stay on there just for a second or two.
We're trying to avoid 6 shadows that we'd have to fight here. Go ahead.
So now you can see they've spawned up in the corner there. We're gonna run Yorda onto this plate.
That looks good.
That looks like a good position. It'll open the door.
Please, Yorda, stay. Please, Yorda, stay.
Oh,
She's
she's
stayed.
in.
All right. Phase 1.
Yeah, phase 1, but that's the
It's
one
not
that loses.
over yet,
Nope.
yeah.
All right, so now we're going out through the top, and what's interesting is we had a shadow encounter that we just ignored. There's going to be another shadow encounter that kicks in on top of the first one as we push this cube down to replace it with Yorda. So we're going to be trying to avoid 6 different shadows, 9 shadows total, as we just try and get through this. And let's see what Yorda's doing. All right, she's grabbed immediately. This is an easy setup to do. It's not the fastest, but it has a much higher chance of success rate.
Yeah, you have enough time after she's been grabbed and while she's being carried up to the pool to do the work you need to do and then get up there and save her.
Oh, that was great. So,
sour.
yeah. So anytime Yorda's away and she gets grabbed by a shadow or put in the hole, the camera will swing around, and if you're not on the camera at that time, please don't hit us. Excuse me? Oh, he got me. That's okay.
Yeah.
Yorda didn't get grabbed. This will be interesting. No, she did. I shouldn't be fighting it. I shouldn't be fighting it. All right, I'm just going to let him take her. We're just going to do a Yorda delivery service. What pool is he going to? Okay, he's going to the
Yeah,
this one
so
over
the shadows will always bring Yorda to the furthest pool away from you are, so we do know if they grab her, generally where they're going to bring her in most situations.
Oh my gosh, these guys are being really goobers today.
Yeah, and something else
I
that
think we
should
got
be
it now.
noted is you really don't want Yorda to go into those pools because once her... nice,
nice.
well done.
That's the full skip.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
So it wasn't ideal. You don't want to ever get hit, but you really can't control that. So that was, for a marathon, we didn't die.
Yeah, and still
that's
much
good.
faster than spending the time to fight both waves
Right.
of the shadows.
And if we hadn't been able to pull her out of a pool, they can't actually kill Eco, but we would have gone all the way back to when we entered the main gate, and you would have had to hear my Bohemian Rhapsody puns again. So we've all been mercifully delivered from that.
And something that happens in the lore of this game, once her head fully sinks into one of those pools, a huge burst of darkness will fly out from it, and Eco turns fully into stone. So we want to avoid that if possible.
Although I do like singing Like a Stone when that happens by Audioslave.
Surprising no one.
Good band. R.I.P. Chris Cornell. All right, so for this trick, we're trying to avoid fighting 8 shadows by delaying Yorda just a little bit to come up to us, so that Tweedledum and Tweedledummer, who do not have wings, will fall down as she comes up, and we will avoid fighting all of these shadows. Hurry up, guys. There they go. They fell into the pit. I fell into the pit. We all fell into the pit. Sorry, Blink and I are big Parks and Rec fans. All right, we'll just leave Yorda here for this part. We can do some donations here because this is kind of just like looking at a puzzle that's pretty self-explanatory.
All right. We have a $5 donation from Iceflower. Put this towards Five Nights at Freddy's security breach. We have a $50 donation from Iskaral Pust 90. What is Eco's favorite kitchen chore? Washing the dishes, of course.
Yes.
Amazing.
Keep them coming.
We have $5 from NicoHeart. What device does Eco draw on? A Wacom tablet.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
We have $25 from Shifter. Who is ICO's favorite Mario character?
Oh, I got this one. Is it Wario?
It is indeed
Yes.
Wario.
Nice.
And speaking of Wario, we actually have a $5 donation from Wario,
He's getting in on it too. I love
summoned.
it.
who just says, ICO's going to need some water after all that shouting.
He really should take care of his voice.
And always keep hydrated. Always keep hydrated when you're yelling nonstop for, the girl that you're escorting through a castle. Very important.
That was perfect. Sometimes Yorda will shake her head there and cost us about 6 seconds and just be like, no, I don't want to jump across this thing with you. But that time, that was like about as fast as she'll make it to you. And now she's walking away for no reason. Don't walk away. Wait, is that Ace of Base?
That's something I would ask
Probably
you.
not. Chad is going to be really mad at me right now. Stop it. She just keeps turning around. Yorda time tax. Gotta love it. All right, Blink. The most RNG heavy skip is coming up. Go ahead.
Yeah, so this is Sewer Skip, which is our second scary shadow skip. We're gonna set Yorda under this kind of arch awning thing here. The idea being that when the shadows spawn, when we get to the top of this chain, she won't be in their line of sight, and she'll stay there just long enough for us to run down into the sewer, push a pressure plate, and then get her through a door. This basically lets us get her to the second half of the puzzle without us having to actually do the full setup, and cuts this down by a pretty good amount. This looks like a good setup. He needs to get on this and then get off quick. And now it's up to Yorda to agree with us and come on in. This looks good. Set her in there, get back out.
Oh,
Perfect.
look at it show up.
That couldn't go better.
And one of
So-
them just came down too, which means he won't be up at the top. So I just have to say, for most runners, I tend to just run the game all the way through every time, no matter what, because I don't have a lot of time for resets.
Yeah.
But most runners, that's like the most common place to reset, wouldn't you say, Blink?
Yeah, very much so.
Ooh, she was
Wow,
fast
and
here
she
too. She's going
Oh.
for gold split, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of times. This series is notorious for the fact, especially in the first and third game, so in ICO and Last Guardian, where so much of your timing is dependent on the AI of your companion character. So in this case, Yorda really cooperating with you. There are some times where she'll shake her head and say, no, I don't want to do that, I'm too scared. Or she'll just kind of be trying to get into position and constantly move back and forth and back and forth. You're gonna see you might see quite a bit of that. Yeah, it just depends on how merciful she is.
I'm gonna go back and retime that, because that probably was a gold split. Like, I don't remember it ever going that smoothly. So thank you, Yorda, for showing out for GDQ. Woo. And now we just kind of do some scaffolding here. Which, by the way, the 50 hertz just skips by jumping up to, doing a yeet jump up to the area that it's going to take us about 40 seconds to get to.
Here, is this a good time to tell people about kind of the differences between the 50 and 40 hertz?
Oh, yeah, sure.
So one big thing is this was released not only as a UK version that has several different glitches and skips that allow you to kind of fling yourself across the map. But this version that was released as an HD remaster for the PS3 is essentially just a ported version of the Japanese one that came out initially for the PS2. The version that we got in the United States for the PS2 was a very rushed and much glitchier version. And Blank, I'll let you explain kind of what we're doing here.
So he wants to trap these shadows into the corner between the wall and this box. They're very slippery, like you saw there. They're very easy to just swoop out of the way.
This will work.
but
We'll make this work.
yeah, it's still going pretty well. The idea is we want to kill these as fast as possible. That one's going to spawn up, and then he'll kill that one as fast as possible, ideally trapping it in this corner in order to end this fight as quick as possible. This is one of the very few shadow fights in the game that we have no choice. We can't skip. We have to fight. All things considered, that went pretty well.
Yeah, and
we like to kill the first two really quickly, sneak in a few cube scoots, and then get the third one as he comes out. But that was, for when it goes bad, that's the best way it can go bad.
Yeah, very much so. And we left Yorda on the elevator that whole time. As with basically every room in this entire game, we're leaving Yorda in specific places to either...
Yorda, move out of the way!
She's really trying to step on my point there, but we're trying to get her to be out of our way.
And another thing to note is you'll notice that you can spam the smack things and attack button if you want to, which essentially causes Eco to do this chain of 2 side swipes and a uppercut with the sword or the stick or whatever he's holding in his hand. But the fastest way to actually do the attacks is by tapping the button, pausing for a split second, and doing the same thing over and over. So you'll see him doing that. That way he doesn't get the regular pauses with Eco. Otherwise, it leaves a window of opportunity for the shadows to attack.
All right, here's a fun jump if we get it. Nope, come on. We're trying to avoid walking across that thing to get to the chain. All right.
There, nice.
There's going to be 2 shadows down here. We call them the Squish Bros. They'll either squish into the like
All
that.
right,
Wow.
there we go, Squish Bros.
So that's ideal. Huzzah.
They can smack you in the face there, and it's very
I'm
bad.
so happy right now.
Now I'll explain to you why. So they either can do that, leaving me no time to explain things, or one of them will pop back out of the ground and become very aggressive. And as you're trying to climb that little windowsill in order to get through and into this courtyard, they can punch you a lot longer than you would expect for your climbing animation, and you basically always fall down, which just tends to cause a big cycle of you trying to push them out of your way, jumping, getting hit again. So it's like when it goes well, it goes really well, and that's how it went.
As I was doing some more Wildest Air, do you guys know what Eco's favorite melon is?
Watermelon?
Do you know what his least favorite type is? Let's just say that it reminds him of the time the queen told him he can't elope with Yorda.
I was not prepared for that one. That was great.
Yeah, I kept that one secret. You hear a lot of the other ones on my stream, but I was saving that one. All right, we are coming up on another pretty easy shadow skip here. The main time loss here is if Yorda decides to take her time getting to this moving platform or not. So we'll just have to wait and see. We don't call her because then she'll want to shake her head at us. Now let's just take a peek. Yorda, are you running to the platform? No, you are not. All right, let's see if you go quickly or if you want to mosey. Take your time, Yorda. Okay, I think she's on. She can fall and die here, so we just want to be really careful with that. It's hilarious, but it's brutal. It's definitely a pull the lever, Kronk, wrong lever sort of situation. And now we're just trying to get down as quickly as possible.
Yep.
Oh, he missed.
Wow, nice.
Come in, buddy. Look.
So he missed grabbing her.
That was
which
perfect.
Normally he can take her to the pool, but he basically delivered her right to where we needed her to be, and we're good.
And
Just go ahead.
no, I was going to say the really nice thing about this too is you may have noticed that once we get Yorda to the door, we're pretty much like, okay, great, that room's done. The moment that she unlocks the door, the lightning that shoots off of her actually kills all of the shadows in the space and neutralizes them. So as long as we can get her to a set of those doors to unlock them, then all the shadows in the room will be completely eliminated.
Musical Daredevil. Is it okay if I call you Musical Matt Murdock? Because I kind of like the alliteration of that. Daredevil,
Sure.
Matt Murdock from MCU. Anyways, we have time for a couple donations.
All right. We have, let's see, where is it? There it is. $5 from Princess Nico Cakes. Let's meet that incentive for 5 Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. Such a great horror franchise. The jump scares will definitely make you say, "Wah!"
I like it. Good job.
And just checking in quickly on that, we have raised $34,000 for that incentive, but we still have quite a ways to go.
Wow.
And I would also like to take the opportunity that we also have a bid war for the very next run, Grand Theft Auto Vice City. The bid war is between the definitive edition, which is in the lead by $700, as well as the original version. So if you would like to see one of those versions in particular, make sure you get your donations in for that.
All right, so now we're going to be killing a shadow and a bunch of spiders that spawn. We'll kill the spiders right away with one swing before they're able to scatter. And we want this room clean so we can leave Yorda in here unattended later. There, we got all the shadows at once. Now we'll just kind of trap this guy against the wall. Wall! 8, 9, 10. Oh, that was 11.
Perfect.
Sancho can't count when he's making puns, apparently. And so this is the east idle doors. A lot of people find this shadow skip to be their least favorite because we're really like so dependent on Yorda's AI at this moment. Oops, ate my jump. That's okay. Come on. All right, let's see if she finds our hand or if she gets stuck. All right, she found our hand. And now we're, Blink, go ahead.
So right after this cutscene, he's going to run right to the ladder and set Yorda right next to it. Our goal is for us to get high enough for Yorda to climb up so that that shadow doesn't grab her.
All right, that's a good setup.
Yeah, that looks good.
Just don't climb down.
Yeah,
don't
as long
climb
as she
down,
Yorda,
keeps
climb
climbing
down.
the...
Stop it!
Don't,
No,
don't
Yorda!
climb down, don't
Back
climb
up,
down.
back
No,
up.
She's coming back
okay.
up.
Yorda, why?
This is a
You go
regular
away.
occurrence in Heart Attack for speedrunners of this game.
She was just as likely to go all the way back down as she was to come up, and then we would have had to fight 4 shadows, but now we're just going to leave her here and do all this puzzle shadow-free.
Heck yeah.
Gosh, that was really scary. I'll be honest, like, we've been doing some, like, marathon safe strats and stuff, but with how these first 3 skips went, if this was like a regular PB attempt, my heart would be kind of pounding here because we've had really good luck with our shadow skips so far.
Yeah, very much so. That last one we did, even if you do everything perfectly, the shadows can just be more aggressive than there's time to account for, so it went perfect.
Yeah, and one thing to note with East and West Arena, you're going to see this. We'll leave Yorda in different places in order to take care of puzzles, but this is really tight timing. If you leave Yorda too long in a space unoccupied or unaccompanied, then there will be shadows, even if there weren't shadows in that space previously, that will spawn and take her, so then you only have a very short timer to get back to her. With going through that so quickly, Sancho is able to get to her without any shadows spawning.
She's in a really nice spot here. She can be anywhere in this room, all the way up at the top of the stairs, all the way back to the bottom door. That was a good place for her to be. And this is going to teach us a new thing about the game. We picked up the sword, and now we're trapped inside this arena, and we have to cut that rope. Suddenly reminded of the Cut the Rope app. That was a fun app. A cute little alligator that eats the peppermint.
God, I haven't thought about that game in years.
All right, come on, Yorda. Oh, that was pretty good. All right, now we'll leave her here. We've got one more rope to cut to open the door that's right there. Ooh, and when we can't do WASD to go up the stairs, it's definitely faster to jump upstairs. That was really smooth.
Perfect.
And let's go. All right, we're just going to be climbing the wall here for about 7 hours. So if you have if you have some more donations, now is a really great time for them.
All right, 7 hours worth of donations. Here we go. We have $20 from Foxy Jira. Stoked to be on the back couch for Papa Sancho's eco run. Sancho reignited the fire for the community years ago and is still going strong today. Keep up the good work, Sancho. You, Ruby, and Blink are already sticking this run more than I could have hoped.
That's very kind.
Thanks,
Thank
Foxy.
you, Foxy.
We love you, and we'll see your run later, or really early in the morning on Saturday.
Yeah. Speaking of 7 hours, he'll be running
Yeah.
Final Fantasy X, which takes almost that long.
Yep. Any more?
Those Final Fantasy runs do get long. We have $25 from ChronoLink91. I was stoked to see this eco run as being a very big Pete Dorr fan.
Oh, yeah.
I have been greatly enamored with eco since I was introduced to it by him, and have since watched Blink and SanchoPanda run this game. What I didn't know was that Blink was going to be on the couch commentating. Hi, Blink.
Thank you, Chrono. Hello.
Doing an awesome job so far, Sancho. Keep up the great couch commentary too, and waffles are my favorite too. Also, incredible Link's Awakening race. That game has meant an unbelievable amount to me throughout my life, and it was awesome to see it run as quickly as that. I agree, that race was amazing.
We just got double rope cuts both times, which is really always cool when it works. I didn't want to interrupt your donations, but I usually do some kind of air horn sound.
Yeah, that helps, but I mean, still, you know, you're doing commentary, and I'm just here reading this stuff like this. $250 donation from Pixel Bear, who just says, "Wah!"
That's a good one.
We also have a $25 donation from Artifice who just says, "Wah!"
How many?
If you can't think of a pun, just
wah.
wah. Just wah. It's amazing.
Hashtag just wah!
Okay, this skip, Blank, should we get into it?
Well, this is the easy version, so
Yeah.
there's no shadows here, but when we get into West Arena, we're going to be doing the same thing, and there will be times where we can't move, but the shadows can. That's why we are so pumped that the Mace incentive got met, because it's going to make it much easier when we get to West Arena.
Memorize this kind
Yes.
of bridge layout and how low stress it is right now, because we'll see it again with a very different level of stress.
Yeah, and Sancho did a very good job of running in a straight line there, but I really need to reiterate how hard it is to just do the basic thing of running in a straight line in this game when the camera is swinging the way it does in spaces like this. So for West Arena, it's going to be a lot more challenging, but just we'll get to see how Sancho does with that. Also,
Unfortunately,
you
we
got
just
her
got-
immediately on the
Right
elevator.
on the elevator, which doesn't seem like anything impressive, but is very hard.
I had a run that would have beat the world record by about 20 seconds, but Yorda didn't get on the elevator, and we lost 30 seconds to it, and I was crushed. I didn't even put it on the leaderboards or upload it to YouTube. I was so upset.
Yeah.
All right, come on, Yorda.
If just to let you know, if she doesn't get on the elevator with you, it takes you all the way down. You can't move or do anything else, and you have to get off the elevator, get back on the elevator, go up, and call her onto it before you can bring her back down. So it's a considerable time loss.
I'll let this one play for just a little bit so you can see what we just did. We charged the left side of the gate. And to be marathon safe, we're picking up this sword, although usually we'll sacrifice the 10 seconds it takes to get this sword to do what's called sword skip, which when it fails, it's really easy to fail. And we're back up at the top of those idle doors we just did. Now let's see if we can get the Yorda drop.
Oh,
We did.
lovely.
That's
Yay,
awesome.
Yorda
That's a
drop,
very,
Yorda drop.
very tight window to get her to fall down the ladder like that.
All right, now here is, if you were listening on the interview, here's the aforementioned Yorda delivery service segment. We are going to leave her a little bit of the way on the bridge and let them do the rest of the work while we pull a lever in a crunk in another area. Sorry, I just can't not say it. All right. Bye, Yorda. Love you. Take care. These guys look friendly.
Do they?
I mean,
Wait, but do they though?
no. And I'm looking back on purpose so they don't slow me down by swinging the camera around.
And once they've grabbed her, he can start doing the thing of yelling in order to go faster
Right.
again.
Yeah.
So that's why he's waited, so that he wouldn't call her towards him. And then once she got grabbed by the shadows, then he was able to start yelling again.
See.
And another little subtle thing is we know based on where Iko was, he was over the portal in the corner there, so we knew that she'd be brought to this particular pool, which makes this whole delivery service possible.
So normally we pick up that sword right there, but if you mess up even a tiny bit, Yorda is just gone. You don't even make it out this door, and you lose about 4 minutes to the run. So we didn't want to do that to you guys. All right, let's see how long we have to wait. There's some RNG here. Sometimes the shadows can be super fast, and you can have one right about now. Oh.
This is the economy stuff, I think.
I think this is the 2-day delivery. This is what happened in our practice too. There's only 2 of them. I don't even know where the other 2 shadows are. It's like they disappeared.
I saw one of them kind of peel off to the right, just way off towards the exit of the castle.
We got it.
Oh.
Yep, we got it. There we go.
Yay!
Thank you, Yorda Delivery Service.
Yay! And it was Mars9 who coined that term, and that's the name of that split for me now. I love it.
Yeah. A subtle thing that we didn't mention before that he did, he left Yorda and he waited a little bit to call her. There's a radius around Yorda where when you call her, you don't get that little speed boost. He does a slightly different call, and she'll run towards you basically immediately. And so we wait until we're outside of that distance, so he does the longer, kind of like slightly more panicked call, and that's the one that gives us the speed boost. So often we'll take that little 2-second wait.
Although that time she didn't run to where she was supposed to, so we actually lost time. Thank you, Yorda Time Tax. Also, another thing to note, when we pulled that lever, in the 50 hertz version, you jump from that lever across to the lever on the other side and go straight to West Arena. and skip about 17 minutes of gameplay, or in this case, it's going to be about 19 minutes since we're getting the mace. So this is the first time at SGDQ that we're getting to see this part of the game at all, and I'm so excited about it. Of course, not this exact part of the game. We've seen this before, and we'll see it again.
Yeah, one thing that's actually really cool to note is if you'll notice that, that bridge actually opened us up to that bridge that we first bombed in order for Yorda to be able to come down. You're going to see us opening up a lot of areas kind of into each other, different parts of the castle we've already seen. So the Dark Souls series, fun fact, the designers were actually a huge fan of ICO and the other games in the Trifecta series by Gen Design. So a lot of their design of areas opening up and leading to previous paths comes from inspiration from this game.
Yep.
And I'm just watching Yorda here because if not, you'd just be looking at me climb a rope. And I'd rather see like how far along she's come. Not as good as she can do, but oh my goodness.
Oh,
It's
all good? It's all
I
good?
tried to jump and I don't know what happened. All right, I'll try this again.
Eco wanted to make sure we were on our toes.
He
And now we
dropped
are.
instead of jumping. Should I say it, Blink? Should I say it? Yeah. That has never happened before. That was so weird. I thought we were gonna fall to our death. Like my heart dropped into my stomach. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Shamil. Shamazel. Any Laverne and Shirley fans out there? I'm showing my age now. I really shouldn't make certain. Oh, what? What's she doing right here? It was probably because we fell that got her concerned. So it probably didn't save time, or if it did, we just found new tech. We'll have to time it and see what the difference is. What do you think, Blink?
Catch us in the practice room later, we'll see.
I don't know, it just takes so much time for him to climb up the rope. I really doubt that was faster. Usually we'll hang out and wait there and we have to watch Yorda run from the steps that she was on down to the next part. All right, I've got a little bit of a skip to explain, and then we've got a lot of Yorda just moving on a ladder coming up, and we'll have time for more donations. But first, we're supposed to go from this bridge to the ladder and up through the top, but instead we're just gonna skip about 40 seconds of puzzle.
He's okay.
Yeah, he's fine. He's tough, just like you said, Ruby. All of the characters in this, they can all take a fall.
Yeah, so for that jump, literally all you have to do is stand on that ledge and then hit the jump button, and it moves Eco just ever so slightly forward, which allows you to jump onto that bottom bridge. So it's actually a much easier skip than you might expect.
All right, Yorda. Trying to trick her into coming before the door is open. Sometimes she will, sometimes she'll be like, no, the door's still there, I'm not coming. That was pretty fast. This little part right here, sometimes Yorda will actually like climb back up off of this and get back on there as you're going down. It's hilarious and it loses time again. Okay, it's time for the Yorda ladder segment. I usually use this time to like practice memory of passages of mine, like the 1 Corinthians 13, which you often hear at weddings. Because with Yorda, you have to be patient. Love is patient, love is kind. But let's go ahead and do some more donations.
So before we do donations, I just have to ask, since this is a ladder segment, do you happen to have any Snake Eater song parodies for Eco?
Well,
I don't get that reference, Blink.
we definitely should have prepared one, but sad.
That would have been awesome.
Hopefully Chad can help us out.
Yes. In the meantime, I do happen to have a lot more donations. So,
Yay! Well, that was a fast Yorda.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
nice. We have $15 from Maniacal Chimera. How does Eco cook his stir fry?
Oh, I know this.
Is it a walk?
It's a walk.
That's so good.
We
All
have
right.
time for plenty more. She's going to be
Yeah.
climbing for a while.
Yeah.
We have $50 from Maddie. What kind of insect is Eco most afraid of?
A wasp. That was going to be my MCU joke about who's his favorite character in the MCU. Okay, anyways, continue.
I haven't gotten the donation for that yet. You can still do it. Or maybe Chad will get to it first. Anyway, Maddie also wants to say, The Last Guardian is my favorite game, but I always love seeing Team Eco Games speedrun at GDQ.
Yeah, we love Last Guardian runners too. We love Sable Dragon Rook. She does a lot for Flame and
Fleet Fatales, yeah. The Fatales series that focuses on female and non-binary speedrunners is something that Sable has participated in many a time and is really involved with. So if you ever want to see some of her runs of that game, you should absolutely check them out. They're wonderful.
All right, well, we're literally just hanging on pipes for a while, so go ahead.
Well, since you already did the shout out, I would like to talk a little bit about Frame Fatales.
Yes,
Yeah.
amazing.
Frame Fatales is GameStoneQuick's all-women's community that aims to spotlight women in speedrunning. The next Fatales charity event, Flame Fatales, is running from August 21st to the 27th, featuring over 70 hours of speedruns and showcases of various game genres. If you're a woman interested in joining the FF community, DM @Frame Fatales on Twitter. For more information about Frame Fatales, go to GameStoneQuick.com/Frame Fatales.
Where are you? Oh, there she is. Yeah, I love those runs. That was the first speed run of ICO I saw was Yuchi and Farinjay in a Frames Fatale.
And my least favorite skip is coming up right now.
It took you like 20 times the first time and about 15 your second when you're like, I'm gonna go back and practice this.
Yeah, I'm not still mad about it. What? So here, do you want to break down how that particular skip works? Because you got it first try. That was beautiful.
Well, yeah,
I love that we're
ahead.
calling it a skip because that is just the intended way to do it, but it's so hard that it feels like a trick.
I needed 2 speedrunners, my first casual playthrough, to help me through that piece. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Right.
that little like piston, there's a very, very narrow window where you can press the button in order
Come on.
to actually
There we
get
go.
that super jump. Otherwise, his knees kind of buckle underneath him, and it takes about 8 or 10 seconds for it to reset and for you to do it again. So
All right.
that adds up quick.
So if you're like, what's happening now? This doesn't seem very good. That's because we're doing the Mace incentive. And I've kind of figured out a good way to do it, still do it quickly. All right, come on, Yorda.
Look at that
You'll
weirdly
notice
colored wall.
this wall is a slightly different tone from the other one. And now we grab the ball. Come on, Yorda. And then we grab the Yorda. And now we are headed to play some basketball. So if anyone wants to whistle Sweet Georgia Brown, and that's been like a fire under your belly for a while, now's a really good time to do it. All right, let's see if we can get this first try.
Sweet.
Nice.
All right, and as this maze comes through a window, I'd just like to point out this game came out in 2001. The second time you do this, if you did this the first time and got the mace, in New Game Plus, you literally get a lightsaber. So this mace just came through a window, and in Revenge of the Sith, Mace Windu dies by being thrown out a window. And I think Ueda must be really good friends with George Lucas. And he knew that this was going to happen. You can't convince me otherwise. I think that theory is tight.
I like that headcanon. Also, it should be noted, the reason why the mace is really, really helpful in this run, it is one of the most powerful weapons in the game. So the stick takes several hits on a shadow in order to be able to take it out. The sword does more damage than that, but the mace, you can pretty much take out any shadow with a single hit or 2 hits, just depending on how big they are.
It's 2 hits for all of them in new game, or in a regular game. Yeah, so like...
Then I stand corrected.
No, that's okay. You did good. So it's... I'm not grabbing that for some reason. So the sword is like 3 stick swings, and the mace is like 6 stick swings. All right, did we get there? Yay!
Beautiful.
We got the watermill and the pump jump first try, which is when you're a newer runner, you'll lose a lot of time here. All right, let's see what Yorda's doing. Okay, she chased a bird at some point. All right, that stops the water, and now we can exit out here. I'm gonna fall to the ground to activate Yorda's concern mode, and she should be running towards us as we get here, and we'll meet her now. Yeah,
Nice.
that was pretty fast, Yorda. Thank you. Let's go.
Sancho, what do you
Yes?
think Eco's favorite charity is?
Oh my gosh.
Doctors Without Borders.
Oh gosh. I was trying to make it work, and I was afraid that was gonna be the answer. Without Borders. Oh, that was good. We don't always get that little jump over. There's like little small victories that save time in this run. It's just such a long run. There's a lot of give and take with a lot of also brutal things that can happen that can kill it as well. So we're doing our, this is the 4th tricky skip, right?
Yeah, so he's going to leave her up on this angled ledge here, push this block, and then basically with a straight shot eye line to Yorda call her. He slightly offsets Eco in order to make the jump up a little more consistent. Hopefully Eco does not get scared and look over at the shadows that are spawning.
You mean Yorda? Yeah. Sometimes she
Yorda.
gets scared here and she'll get startled and she won't keep running and we'll have to fight the shadows.
That looked great.
That's beautiful.
Oh, they're not even
They're not
bothering
even
us.
dropping up there. Perfect.
Nice.
Man, all these
Nice.
skips going so well.
That can result in a really, really ugly fight where they can take her up to a pool that's all the way back up those stairs that we had just gone down. So that was a beautiful skip.
Yeah, lovely.
We got some more donation time here.
We have $20 from Yukino64. Hey guys, what's Eco's favorite game?
What?
I'm not
I
sure.
don't know.
Eco's favorite game is Shadow of the Colossus.
You know, at this point, the worse it
Same.
is, the more I like it.
That's what's so great about puns. The worse they are, the more we like them.
Yeah.
We have $15 from Locklow. Loving this run of Eco Musical Sing-Along Edition.
Exactly.
What's Eco's favorite Johnny Cash song?
Oh, good. I heard somebody over there say
Yeah,
it.
is it walk the line?
It is indeed I
Yep.
Walk the Line.
Credit to Tech Crew for that.
That's good. Yeah, Tech Crew shout
Yeah,
outs.
thanks, Tech Crew.
You don't get enough shout outs anyways, so good
Shout out
job
Tech
shoving
Crew.
yourselves into the spotlight.
Yes.
I think we still have time for a few
Oh,
more.
yeah. Oh, yeah. We got, a couple more.
We have a donation from Crease. Eco has been asking for a $100 donation, so here it is.
Awesome.
I love this event every year and can't wait for more to come. Donation to Five Nights at Freddy's. And checking in on that, we have raised $35,000 towards that bonus game.
Wow.
So again, still have a
Crazy.
ways to go.
Still great money for a great cause. All right, we are trying to set up a way to skip 4 shadows here, and we'll have to skip them again later, which involves leaving Yorda in that nice spot and then calling for her, and hopefully she'll run pretty quickly to us. I also like just nonchalantly getting on that ladder while it's still moving. Like, it's just the simple pleasures sometimes. All right, here we go. Some more wahs to get her to come to us. Do you know what Eco's favorite Pink Floyd album is? That's a gimme.
I know, but I'll let you have it.
The Wall. All right, and now we can talk about part of the legacy of this game, because we're just running to the next part, but as we run, we're passing an area which we just passed a little bit ago, and you can hear some water running, and there's some stuff happening below. Look at all this. So, Blink, I want to talk a little about the legacy of Eco and what it's meant to other game devs.
Yeah, so at the time that this game came out, we saw all that stuff. I hope you memorized it because it will probably become very familiar later. At the time that this game came out, these sort of like large connected worlds weren't really a thing. You could say that this game was ahead of its time, but I think it would probably be more accurate to say that the environmental design in a game like this inspired a lot of future projects and a lot of game developers in order to build levels more complex and intricate and considered like that. We were joking around earlier that this is your favorite game designer's favorite game.
And just 2 hits and he's gone. Thank you, Mace.
Yeah, that shadow may or may not land here, but thanks to all the generous donations for the mace, no worries.
I thought we weren't going to get a shadow, and so I was zooming in because I just think it's hilarious that Eco's not actually holding this thing that he's pulling. He's just kind of, yeah. And at the same time, he's also not cutting off Yorda's kneecaps with the mace as it clips through her legs.
He grabbed this like post on the very outside edge to actually pull it a lot faster. He'll show here what it looks like, the difference in torque if you
Here we
grab
go.
towards the center.
There's leverage in this game, and this game came out in 2001. Look at this.
But if you pull on the outside, suddenly it goes so much faster.
And then compare that to this.
I like Yorda getting in the way too.
So you save about 2 minutes just by grabbing.
You
this
really
from the
do
far
save a whole
outside.
lot of time. And it's really fun to watch casual runners just not know that, and they're like, oh, this is taking so long. All right, I don't die here, But we are doing what I like to call Ewok Village, and it's really easy to die here, so we're gonna do a checkpoint at this bench by just sitting down. We're not gonna do a save, but it'll still be a checkpoint. Yep. Oh, we got to hear just a tiny bit of some of the best music in the game, which is that bench save music, the do-do-do-do. Come on, Yorda, over here. You can find, there you go.
And we're about to see a really, really cool jump. I kind of want it to speak for itself, but just this is the thing that can kill you really, really easily. And,
Perfect.
oh, beautiful,
Hey,
beautiful.
It saved us 4 seconds, ladies and gentlemen.
But it gained us so many cool points.
Yes. I really hope if they ever do like a full remaster that all the stuff down here also becomes puzzle, possibly to like lift up the water tower that we'll be knocking over later.
I love that you corrected yourself
I did.
to make sure
did.
that
It
it was
was
fun.
Half apologize to
That's
yourself.
incredible.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, you could hear her right there. I heard her in my right ear going, Nyane, and that meant she was shaking her head like, I can't get to you now. Why are you calling me? We haven't seen it happen on screen, which is a pity. But
The only time you'll ever say that, but it's true.
Yeah, the only time I'll ever say it's a pity. Don't shake your head at me. All right. See if I can get this bomb toss first try.
Nice.
Looks good.
Looks good.
Very nice.
Thank you.
And-
And he magically sometimes climbs up at that point, and he
Yeah.
didn't this time, which is going to make this next jump harder. I'm going to try and make it onto this wooden rungs without landing on the floor, and I didn't. Even though we did it 4 times in a row during practice, and you were like, that was it. You used them all up. Tiny time loss, really.
Yeah. That's the karmic exchange for all the shadow skips.
Oh, I'll take it.
Yeah.
That is a great exchange. I'll take that. I'd say, you know, this isn't like an official category, but as far as me practicing this run while getting the mace, we're probably really close to like a PB of this mace extended category that we may actually start using after this. All right, Yorda can actually climb up by herself if the jump was small. I'm sorry, guys, if it hurt your feelings that I just let her climb up on her own, but it is faster. We'll give her a little bit of attention here and watch her kind of make her way across this bridge as all we're doing is climbing a chain. And now this is the part, like this is the area, a couple jumps coming up that are really give people a lot of anxiety. We'll see them here in a second. Also, something we've been doing that no one has really pointed out yet, because there's so much great things to talk about with this game, is you'll see me every once in a while swinging my weapon at the end of a jump, and that's because it keeps ICO from landing flat-footed. Instead, he stumbles forward, and so that's forward, and so it's just like a tiny bit faster. All right, Yorda should be running over to the chain here.
Yep, and there is a shadow that's going to spawn here in a minute after Sancho takes care of one last piece of this puzzle.
All right,
but there's
we'll do
actually
this with the D-pad, because as you can see, I've got a little bit of nerves, and I don't trust the joystick making that jump to or from, so we're just going to do it a little bit. Even if I'm on world record pace, it's fine, but in this particular environment, my thumb is just like, hey, you didn't have lunch. I can't handle this. And Yorda's over there by the chain still. All right, we'll just wait for the camera. Thank you, camera.
Nice.
All right, just doing it nice and safe. We just wanted to show off some safe noob strats, you know, so this game will feel more approachable to others. That's really what we were going for there. It has nothing to do with the fact that I'm being a pansy.
And here's another shadow skip. So we called her, so she ran there, and we're going to get her onto this cube as quickly as we can before the shadows run up behind her, and then we'll do the same thing to get her over onto this other side, and that skips us having to fight that very aggressive shadow right
Yeah, Shadow McGee over there.
He's
and,
like so lost. He has no idea what to do.
yeah, and he doesn't have wings, so once she's on the box, you're safe and golden. It's just if she gets grabbed while she's over there with Shadow McGee, that it can become an issue.
I like that you call him Shadow McGee. Well, I'm like just showing off the fact that the reflective surfaces of the light from the idle doors bounce off of the cube.
See, ever since you named Mr. Clippy, I feel like I need to name the shadows if they make themselves very notable to me, and that one has unfortunately made itself notable to me.
Shadow McGee is now canon, Ruby.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
All right, musical daredevil, what you got?
What do I got? Well, I have a $75 donation from Cannon Swift, confirming that Eco's favorite drink is water.
Amazing.
He also likes to remind us to hydrate, drink water, and donate.
Absolutely.
I'm suddenly thirsty. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. Stay hydrated, y'all. And just checking in quickly on the bid war for our very next run, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, Definitive Edition has pulled in the lead quite a bit and is now a $3,000 even, with original version at $2,200. So make sure you get your donations in for that because that is coming up right after this run.
I like zooming in with the camera here. It just adds some drama to it.
Scenic.
Yes.
We have $50 from Katie Moe. SGDQ is a highlight of my year. It's so fun to see all the super talented runners do their thing. Let's get this 5 Nights at Freddy's run.
How far away from that are we now?
So we just passed $36,500. So we still have quite a ways to go. About 54,500 if I did my math on the fly
Wow, that's
correctly, which is very
impressive.
hard to do. Yeah, that's very difficult. I probably did it wrong, but who cares? It's all for a
Hey,
great
you're
cause.
musical Daredevil, not mathematical Daredevil.
Exactly.
We only have so much of a host. Come on, guys.
Mathical Daredevil's another person.
All right, we're gonna try and get Yord out of here really quickly so that the shadows don't spawn. And if we're out here, if we do it quickly enough, and that was fine, it's gonna take a long time for them to spawn the next time, which will mean they'll be less of a nuisance to us. But now, goodbye for a little while, Mace. We'll pick you up again soon.
We have to set it down for a puzzle, but gone but not forgotten. We will return.
Yep. We will need the Mace for the West Arena Skybridge skip, which isn't the most RNG, but it is the most complete run killer in the game.
The bridge skip in West Arena still consistently terrifies me as a skip, along with Graveyard Skip.
Yes.
It's kind of a coincidence, an interesting coincidence, but both my world record run and the guy who previously held the world record for over 5 years, Karakusa, both of us have a shadow grab Yorda, and we actually had to engage during that skip. Think about that. You're on PB pace, and suddenly this happens, and I'm trying to get the world record, and it's just like, no! I'm okay, happy thoughts.
What we're about to do here is also technically a shadow skip. Thankfully, this one should go pretty well. Sancho's a pro. So we're going to light these torches. We left Yorda down at the bottom. And then we're just going to quickly hop on down and climb up the ladder and then call Yorda up as those shadows are spawning and flying down here. And then we'll be able to exit the door without having to fight any of them.
As long as she goes up the ladder. Go up the ladder.
Very
Please,
true.
fine. And fortunately, most of the shadows kind of get stuck in that architecture. This time it looks like it was all 3 of them. So
Wow.
all 3 of the ones that come quickly. And we're out the door.
I've never seen all 3 of them get stuck like that before. That's
Yeah,
great.
it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
They're being the RNG. I'm really kind of jealous
Yeah.
of the RNG today. It is always fun to see stuff go bad. So you'll definitely see it on. Well, Blink runs this game. Ruby runs this game. I run this game. So you'll definitely see it plenty on our channels, like how stuff can go bad.
Yeah.
All right, now we're gonna leave Yorda in this room, and this is my favorite skip in the game because we're leaving her for a really long time, but we're also kind of not leaving her for a really long time because when we go back outside, we're actually gonna be in the same load that we were in with Yorda, so it's gonna reset the timer of being away from her, which I think if there's no shadows around, usually it's like a minute. So once we go back out this door, we will reset the timer for her, but we're gonna be leaving her quote unquote alone for quite a while. And now this reflector, unlike the other one, isn't set, so we need to adjust it. And I think this is a really funny time to just show the leverage again.
And then
Versus,
Yeah, in the US version, this part wasn't complete. It turns like a tin can and it takes 4 pulls, and it's so hilarious. In the Hurts My Eyes version of the game.
yeah, and in that particular version, it should be noted that some of the puzzles that you've seen here, so like the water wheel puzzle, the pump jump, don't even exist. So there are some of those that I didn't even experience them for the first time until I played the PS3 version, and I think for many people that was the same kind of experience.
Yeah, for me it was like I got there and I'm like, wait, what are these other puzzles I'm having to do? I'm so confused because I did originally the PS2 US version.
Yeah, I will say also for the bridge skip that we're going to be hitting in just a second here, even though, yes, this is a very terrifying skip in this version, it's still manageable, whereas in the PS2 US release version, the shadows were a lot more aggressive and the RNG was a lot more erratic, so it was much harder to track what they would do. So the bridge skip in that one is an absolute nightmare.
yes.
All right, we just reset her timer again, which means we get to leave her alone for even longer. And usually we'll go up and get a stick. It's faster to do it that way over the long term of the connected puzzles, but since we want the mace for this room, when we come back to it, we're going to hold on to the mace, and now we're going to do another bomb toss against a wall, which JK and Pitor helped us figure out to make it a consistent way of doing a bomb toss. Because you can't light the bomb with a mace like you can with a stick. But in this run, we never actually set any bombs down and light them with sticks, which is kind of interesting and fun.
We're just going to do a little pop.
I'll try and sneak a jump in and hopefully not die. All right.
Nice.
Nice. Well done. Well done.
All right, now there's some RNG here. How close is Yorda going to be? She can be right at the door. She can be at the top. She can be midway up. She can be all the way down at the bottom. Of course, she's all the way down at the bottom. Part of the reason I gained some time here over the world record for the Yorda time text was his Yorda was a little bit slower than mine. So there's always that.
All right, now we're coming up to the West Arena Bridge skip. This is what the mace will help us with and makes it safer, but it's still not guaranteed. It's still very.
Why'd you have to say that?
Oh wait, no, I'm.
All right, I'm just going to focus on trying to make it
guaranteed.
through this gate smoothly.
Nice.
It's really hard to do with the architecture. Oh, we got it. That's good.
You just walk in a straight line, Sandra. That's it.
All right, now we're looking for Mr. Clippy. He's down below. Oh, he got here quick.
He's landing.
All right.
This looks good.
This
looks good.
looks like a good setup. We're not even going to have to use the mace. That was a great skip.
Nice.
That's what
Well
you like to
done.
see.
Well done.
That is the run killer.
But we still love, even though we didn't quote unquote need the mace, we still love that it raised $5,000
Yes.
for Doctors Without Borders. All right, Yorda, be nice. This was the elevator that she took a world record run away from me. Yay.
Nice. You got her on both elevators? That's amazing.
You got all the rope cuts doubling up. It's just going so well.
Yeah, this has been a pretty good run. It'll be interesting to check the IGT at the end after the long credits. Which is part, we've actually factored that into the run, and I'm pretty sure we'll be very comfortably under estimate. Knock on this flaming stick of those. Okay. Oh, and we got the ladder drop in the East Arena too.
True.
So
Yeah, this has honestly been an
I'll let this
incredible
play a little bit.
showcase of this game and how smoothly the movement tech can go. We haven't had a lot of the heart attacks that you can see in this run, which is really nice.
all right, let's see if we get this other ladder drop. Nope, it ate my input. And now we might get Yorda forgetting her purse. Let's see if she makes it all the way down, or if she decides that I'm still on the ladder and she wants to go back up. Yep, Yorda forgot her purse, ladies and gentlemen.
Always the bottom rung.
Womp womp.
Yorda, please.
Come on.
Yorda, down here.
She's like, oh, you were down there? Oh, I got all mixed up.
That
Yeah, down here.
can be really infuriating. You know, she behaved so well for all the skips. She had to do something. Yeah.
We talked about how smoothly it was going,
Yeah.
and we cursed it.
And now we missed because we didn't get that out right away. I love showing off. Usually we leave right away and the stick is still lit, and Eco's face and body are illuminated, and the light like flickers off the sides of his face as he's running, and then when it goes out, it gets dark, and it's just really cool to see.
Yeah.
You'll just have to take my word for it this time. We've got a lot of just walking with Yorda to do. Mathematical Daredevil, take it away.
Yes, this is your host, Mathematical Daredevil.
The alternate universe
Mathematical
version of
Matt
musical
Murdoch. I've
Daredevil.
now completely replaced every part of your name.
Anyway, we have a $20 donation from Sushi Elemental for all you ABBA fans out there. Climbing chains is fine, walk in a straight line. Grab this mace and flee. You're to come with
Oh, that's
me.
good. That is good.
That's really good. You should
That was
One
awesome.
make that a
parody
whole
lyricist to another, that was 10 out of 10.
Yep.
And the singing was good too. You lived up to your name.
Ah, thanks. It was very mathematical, I
Yes,
guess.
yeah. I mean, like you started on the A440 and just went from there, just using the math to hit those notes at perfect.
Exactly, using all my half steps and whole steps and thirds and fifths and all that stuff. Anyway, we have a $15 donation from Koba Badger. Love you all. Hope we all have a good time.
We are having a good time. Are you guys
Yeah.
having a good time?
Yeah, thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
Out there, y'all having a good time? Yeah. We have a $15 donation from Samwise. GTA Vice City is one of the first games I ever remember playing until completion, and I'm a sucker for tradition. Let's get that original version on stream. Also, shout out to my best friend Zach, sitting right next to me, enjoying this amazing eco run. GDQ hype!
GDQ hype!
This is a very smooth run here. These guys can mess with you and ruin your run really easily. And that is the last shadow skip of the game. And we did them all pretty well. You may continue.
Yeah, can we get some more donations?
Yes.
Amazing.
More donations. We have $100 from Jim. So excited for GDQ to be back and excited to watch these great runs all week. We have $25 from John Millett. So glad to see those who could make it back live on stage. Looking forward to a great week of speed runs.
I started giggling because they read that, and then you just hear this bird, and it was almost like just crickets chirping after the...
We're all extremely
We appreciate all the
excited about being back in
donations.
person too, yeah.
I just can't always think of something witty to say after each one. All right, we're about to get to one final cutscene we can skip here. And now, Yorda, you'll notice her hair color has changed. It took the people of the female persuasion in my chat to point out to me, yes, I'd run this game for over a year and I didn't realize that Yorda changed her hair color.
So what happened in that cutscene is she was able to open the gate with her power, but considering the front gates of the castle are considerably larger than anything else she has kind of dealt with, it ended up draining her of a lot of her energy. So basically, Sancho had to use running in short bursts and then slowing down to walk. That way she wouldn't trip and fall, because otherwise in this segment, it's actually really heartbreaking to see Yorda will be consistently tripping and falling just because she has no energy left.
Right. And here's where we get parted from our friend, and this is really sad. So everybody, it's time to say goodbye to Stick.
No.
No!
No, Stick!
No! Yorda's still here, and so she says something here. We worked really hard analyzing the hieroglyphics. We looked at like the Navajo codes from World War II and other stuff. And I think we finally figured out what it is that Yorda says in this moment. You know, it took a lot of analysis and looking at other languages and stuff. It was a really hard code to break. Blink, in a minute, she's going to say something. And I want you to tell our audience and chat what it is that we think we translated Yorda to be saying in this moment. Are you ready?
Yeah, it's not a language native to me, but I think I've got it. It
Right.
looks, it's 4-4 sailboat, lizard-eating seagulls.
Correct. That is a direct translation. All right, and this is so unique because now that we're separated from Yorda and from Stick, there's no shadows. We've just got a lot of puzzle platforming as we try to make our way back to Yorda. This is the second time ICO has decided, you know what? I'm going to stick it out. I'm going to go get my friend and bring her back. I just love the rain here. This is harkens forward to Shadow of the Colossus as well. Oh, a little scary because they like to have rain at the end of that when you face Malice as well.
And these cages are very, very familiar if you play The Last Guardian.
Yeah.
Well, also one thing to note is, as we were saying before, there are some areas where we could look down previously and see kind of these cages and see some other things. If you pay attention to this section now, as ICO is on his own, pretty much everything that we're seeing in the next room we're about to enter is something that we saw before, just from a completely different angle. So this is now where that gets opened up and we can see those puzzles and interact with them.
Pull the lever, Kronk.
Wrong lever!
I forgot there was another lever here. I was glad we got to squeeze that in one more time. All right, now we're just doing, we're pushing our love cube to be able to reach another ladder on the other side that's broken. And, oh, yeah, and then pull another lever. Can I get the audience to shout wrong lever at the appropriate moment, please? For all of you, I mean, the best Disney movie ever, to be honest. Emperor's New Groove.
Definitely.
Pull the lever, Kronk.
Wrong lever!
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Wow, that was a dream come true for me. All right, and now we'll just be, you know what? There's nothing interesting to say here. I could just start singing, Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It's not warm when she's away. Ain't no sunshine when Yorda's gone. In this castle ain't no home. Anytime she's turned to stone. It doesn't quite work, but oh well. We're looking to the left here so that the sprites from the water don't eat some of our frames. I know, they love that trick. They really love that trick. Like, I didn't think it was that big a deal, but they're like, wow, he's a genius. 2, 3,
They were right.
4, 5. Hui! It's nice to fall during that cutscene right there. It's a little skip. And, oh, we were actually early, I think, for that one. 3-second time loss. Let's just restart the whole round. Blink, do you want to add anything to what we're doing here?
Yeah, this whole section is just kind of like your final test of the various platforming abilities that you've learned. Most of it is pretty consistent. There are parts where you can do slight variations, but really at this point, when you're on a good pace, this is just a test of your nerves. It's how much can you steel your resolve and make it through to the end.
Gorister, who with Vexel runs the 2-player version of this run, and it's so exciting. He's perfected a way to skip this pipe that I am terrible at, so we're not doing that. Because Eco, get back up. Because it saves you 4 seconds or it costs you 45. So we're not doing that nonsense. Oh, that reminds me. This was my favorite one. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, we missed it. Oh no. See if I can make it back to the other side. Okay, we're fine.
Okay, cool.
I was just a little early on that jump. No big deal.
Good recovery.
Yep.
Thank you. Eco's ledge detection in this game, Okay, come on, boy. Come on, boy. All right, this is fine. That was not near. If we had fallen down, we would have had to start back at the windmill. I was so hyped for my joke, and now I can't even remember. Okay, what is Eco's favorite song by the Police? We'll go ahead and climb up one just to be safe.
What?
Walks in! You don't have to put on a red light. Walks in!
Do you need some water?
You found the limits of your register.
I'll let you two carry on from here for a second.
Okay, cool. So while Sancho chokes from hitting that high note, so basically we're finishing up Waterworld here. So it's just going to be more platforming, and this particular jump using the D-pad, like we said before, sometimes. Oh no!
No, that's fine.
Oh no!
That's fine. We're at the end of the run. This is no big deal.
Yeah. So there, like we mentioned earlier, with the way the camera swings, sometimes it's easier to do a D-pad jump. That was just a little early. The nice thing is that they built a convenient ladder here for you to use. So once you're in this section, it's much easier to just get back right to where you were. So it's not a huge time loss, just loses us about 15 seconds or so.
You're right. That was a tad early. There we go.
Nice.
Yep, there we go. And at this point, we have just a lot more platforming. It's a little bit more relaxed up until we get to the final 2 encounters as far as fights are concerned.
Well, we got a couple series of tense jumps. Blink.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he's going to do a
Yeah.
specific jump to kind of curve around this ledge and then turn and jump over there. But
Oh,
that saves
gosh.
you walking like all the way down and around the corner. And there's a pretty tight window for him to hit, so that was really good.
Thank you. And this next one is a D-pad setup. We'll be jumping by using the left D-pad to skip about 10 seconds of going across this.
Yeah.
So we got a little bit of a setup to do. First, let me drop here, and then jump over to the other side. And then as soon as I boop, boop. All right, now we can just do a left D-pad jump and skip all of that.
Beautiful.
Nice,
Ew.
nice.
We have time for some more donos.
Well, I've got a dono here from the runner of the previous game, Glan, for
Sweet.
$25. Glan says, help, Koholint Island vanished and now I'm stranded in the ocean? I'm very happy to have gotten to showcase Link's Awakening with TGH, and let's keep raising money for this very good cause. Good luck to all the runners for the rest of the week. We also have a $5 donation from Evan. Hey, Sancho. Just dropping a quick donation here to tell you that you're the best.
Aw, thanks.
We also have a $7 donation from Danae Uncreative. Greetings from Chile, and to both SanchoPanda and Ruby for their amazing respective ICO and Shadow of the Colossus runs.
Agreed.
Thanks, Danae.
We have a $10 donation from Le French Restream. Hi everyone, French Restream here. Glad to meet you back in real life, folks. We wish to rename Sunny from Omori to Esteban. The name is in reference to the Mysterious Cities of Gold, a Japanese, French, Luxembourgish anime from the 80s. We linked this anime to the game because of the opening song being Enfant du Soleil, or Child of the Sun in English. We want to thank all the GDQ staff for the amazing event as usual, and also big shout out to the Restream team. Let's enjoy the week ahead. Gardez la pêche, Le French Restream.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
We have a $25 donation from World of Zero. Welcome back to Minnesota, GDQ. Love all the work you do helping doctors enable no-clip.
I love that.
Yeah.
Without borders. That's really good.
Doctors without clipping. We have $20 from Lil Billy. You are all beautiful people. Thanks for continuing to make GDQ better and better. We have an anonymous $50 donation with no comment, but thank you very much, as well as a $50 donation from Sasha Amethyst. Thank you both very much for your generous donations.
All right, Blink, I'm going to do it. Did I make it to the
Thank
bridge?
you so much
Yes.
for all the
Yay.
donations. This is incredible. And I can see we're already at $213,000 raised over the course of the
Wow.
first 2 days of this event.
That is
Please
amazing.
keep that coming. Yeah, that's incredible.
So we now have the Queen Sword, which was showcased at the beginning of the game it was the way that the priests were able to, what was that? Where the priests were able to access, to get ICO in here in the first place. It's the sword plus Yorda, so we like to call it Sworda. My headphones are on. I didn't hear the thunderous laughter coming from the crowd, but I'm sure it was there.
Yes.
And now we are about to hit, it's a scene that's going to take Sancho a considerable amount of time, but it's honestly, if you play this game all the way through yourself, it's one of the most heartbreaking. I know the first time I played it, I was in tears, as well as many friends. So essentially what we see is that is Yorda, and she, much like ICO, when she would disappear into those shadow pools, has been turned to stone and is now stuck on that plating. And as you've noticed as we go through the game, the shadows look very menacing, but they don't have any particular kind of humanoid form to them, whereas all of these shadows, the 53 specifically that we're going to be fighting here, all look like ICO. They all look like horned boys, and the more of them that Sancho kills here, he's basically going to be using a skip where he kind of tucks himself into that corner and turns away so that the shadows come up behind him. But as he kills more and more of those, you're going to see these caskets lighting up one by one by one, and this is essentially when the game reveals to you that all of these shadows that are here, all the boys who have been sacrificed, they've essentially been forced into the queen of the castle's service. What we're going to see in the final cutscene as well, so just getting into a little bit of what happens in the end since we're going to have to skip it, is the queen actually wants to use Yorda as a human vessel. She has gained quite a bit of considerable power from all the people who have been sacrificed here, and other things that some people theorize about. And now that her body is withering away and decaying as she ages, she wants to take Yorda and force her own soul into her daughter's body. So right now she's frozen in time because she wants to complete that ritual, complete that process. So Yorda's soul would essentially be lost forever, and instead it would be this dark queen taking her over. So we're gonna see that once we finish up killing the 53 shadows, but it's a very heartbreaking set of cutscenes that kind of happen one after the next after the next. Did I explain that pretty well? Did I miss anything?
Yeah, I think so. I just like
Okay.
to point out that these 53 shadows, and if a horn boy is sacrificed every generation, that means for almost 1,600 years, there's been a tradition of this village of sacrificing a horn boy.
Yeah, and actually, thank you for saying that because that reminded me of another thing. If you're wondering about the canon timeline with these games, we don't know exactly where Last Guardian fits in. It hasn't been fully canonized, but Shadow of the Colossus is fully in canon, a prequel to this game. So the idea is that the events of Shadow of the Colossus are what led to the legacy of Horn Boys being born every generation because of the rituals that took place in that game.
And that was a great fight.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Well done. And the nice thing is, even though this is the final boss fight, everything in this one versus the RNG of the shadow fights is completely predictable. So this will go pretty fast here. But the end of this is not going to be timed since after the credits, there are a few more inputs. So we'll hang out for this fight and then see the credits.
And then we'll have time for a song and then lots of donations.
And even though this is all scripted, we kind of know how this fight's going to go. There is still a little bit of tech that you'll see him trying to do. The queen is going to shoot these kind of like wave attacks out at you, and he's going to want to, while he's running, cut his sword through them.
Otherwise, you get knocked back. When you hit the sword in your hand, it prevents you from turning into stone like you would normally. But if you don't have it in your hand, you'll turn to stone. It resets the fight. So he just wants to make sure to slash through those as much as he can. That way it doesn't slow him down like that.
That was exactly what we're looking for. One bubble cut, beautiful.
It's not a game breaker. Really, the 53 shadow fights is where you can like have a great run die because they can do all sorts of crazy stuff. If you watch the world record history video that Blink helped me put together, you can see all of that explained. But this fight is more just kind of like the icing on the cake at the end of what really feels like a boss battle is the 53 shadow fight. So this is all just kind of easy, except cutting those bubbles. We've got to be close to frame perfect, I think.
I think so too. And as we mentioned, we always know what direction the sword's going to go. It always falls to the same spot of the arena every time. If you forget, it does, like, there is positional audio you can hear which side of the arena it falls on. I will say, as you're learning it, like I may or may not have done, if you have your earbuds in the wrong ear, so your positional audio goes to the wrong direction, that may throw you off a bit.
We got that one. Nope.
Nice. You gonna do the fancy cut?
Yeah, we got so much time left after getting every skip. Instead of just having it right away, let's have a little bit of fun here. Let's do a samurai death. Hold on. Ready? This isn't time, but the cutscene scripted for him to be in the front, so that's fun. So we've done most of the run. We now have some credits to enjoy.
Yep.
And then, can you do a couple of donos while they turn the sound down on the game and I get some water after destroying my voice for that terrible joke I did earlier?
Yes. Make sure y'all stay hydrated out there. We have an anonymous $20 donation. Such great commentary, both with the talking about the game and the glorious, glorious puns. There's such a good camaraderie from Ruby, Sancho, and Blink. Keep being awesome, everyone.
Thank you.
We'll try.
We have an anonymous $25 donation. Hello from Croatia. Keep up the good work. We have a $100 donation from Lilac Fishy. GDQ, let's get this incentive on lockdown. And those $100 went towards our bonus game, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. We have raised over $37,000, actually pretty close to $38,000. But again, we still have a long ways to go. About $52,000, if I did my math correctly. After all, I am Mathical Daredevil now.
Can you turn the sound down from the game in my headset? Yeah, sorry. Sorry.
Audio is very important, especially for what's about to come.
All right, here we go. You good? Can you get a little closer? I'm being really high maintenance right now. Okay. He's such a diva, right? Why are you looking at me like that? When we met, you were in a birdcage. You made the cutest parakeet. All of my life, I felt like a sacrifice. till you touch me on the cheek, Yoda. Please open doors for me, Yoda. Unleash your inner Palpatine, Yoda. And together we'll escape this castle keep. I am a descendant of wonder. Quit's not in my vocabulary. But when I call and you don't budge at all, sure ups the difficulty, Yoda. Don't shake your head at me, Yoda. Stop chasing birdies, please, Yoda. Why did you forget your purse in this run? That's not usually the lyrics there. Da-dum, da-dum, da-da-dum, da-dum, da-da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. Da-dum, da-dum, da-da-dum, da-dum, da-da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. Retracting bridge won't separate us. I'll scale the cliffs of insanity. Find the sword of light, fight 53 shadow guys. I'll stab your mom in the spleen, Yoda. It's your turn to rescue me, Yoda. While the castle's collapsing, Yoda. And we'll split a watermelon on the beach. Da-dum, da-dum, da-da-dum, da-dum, da-da-dum, da-dum, da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-dum, da-dum, da-da-dum, da-dum, da-da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. Thanks, guys. Y'all are awesome. And now we've got a good bit of time for donations before we finish with the beach run. Take it away, musical daredevil.
The first amazing job, SanchoPanda. That was beautiful. We have a $25 donation from The Juice, with lots of E's after it, who just gives us a heart. Thank you, The Juice. We have $10 from 6pog. Here's my first, but far from last donation for SGDQ 2022. Let's give a big shout out to Anonymous. That person, for it could only be one person, right? Consistently donates thousands of dollars at every event. Keep it coming, Anonymous. You're an inspiration to us all. Yes, thank you all so much for your very generous donations, getting us over $214,000 so far.
That's awesome.
We have a $25 donation from Cucumber Time. Go GDQ! Thanks to all the volunteers, runners, and staff for putting together this awesome event. We have a $25 donation from PartyCat. Been watching since 2015, and I always love seeing the support that the event receives. Thanks to all the amazing runners and staff.
Yeah, I'm gonna second that. Thank you to everyone on staff for GDQ. Can we please get a round of applause for everyone who's been working their butts off to make this an incredible event?
Amazing tech support.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing interviews.
The tech, the producers, the enforcers, everyone. Y'all do an amazing job at this event every year, and it's so great to be back in person.
A huge shout out to all the staff making this happen behind the scenes. We have a $100 donation from James Big Mac. No comment, but thank you very much for that donation. We have a $25 donation from CC Zeladon. Love watching these runs with my fiance. We especially enjoy the races. Let's go! We have an anonymous $250 donation. This is always a great event, and I'm glad to see that it can be done in person again this year. We have $50 from Andy Lin. Great cause, great event. I've been turning into every GDQ since AGDQ 2013. Keep up the great work. We have $25 from Janksta. Huge thanks to all the runners for what they do.
Absolutely.
Shout out to SanchoPanda.
Yeah. Thanks for this run, Sancho.
We have $50 from Matthew. Thanks for supporting a good cause and also entertaining me during a COVID recovery. Good luck with your recovery, Matthew.
Yeah.
I think also thanks to entertaining all of us throughout the whole pandemic, to be honest, GDQ. I know a lot of us, made friends first by just falling in love with speedrunning through GDQ. And then these friendships kept me sane over the last couple of years. So
I would
awesome
second
job.
that.
Thank you all so much. So much.
Let's see, where was I in the queue? There are so many amazing donations in this queue.
Your eyes are just full of tears. It's hard to even read.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My eyes are tearing up right now. SanchoPanda is not kidding. We have $10 from Ciela. So happy to finally catch SGDQ live. Best of luck to all the runners. We have an anonymous $100 donation with no comment, but thank you very much for that donation. And I guess now would be a great time to talk a little bit about what exactly we are raising all of this money for and where all of your donations are going. We are raising funds for Doctors Without Borders. Doctors Without Borders, or Médecins Sans Frontières, is an international medical humanitarian aid organization providing life-saving medical humanitarian care in over 70 countries around the world. MSF is committed to independence, impartiality, and neutrality. These principles are what make it possible for MSF to respond rapidly to emergencies and provide life-saving medical care in situations where many other organizations can't or won't. 90% of MSF staff is national, meaning they live locally and are from the country where they work. Since 1995, MSF USA has allocated 85% or more of its expenditures to program activities directly. So thank you very much, Doctors Without Borders, or MSF, for all the amazing work you do around the world. We have $15 from Joe. Always love when GDQ comes back around. Needed this positivity in my life right now.
What's ICO's favorite unit of electrical measurement?
Is it the what?
Beautiful.
I found one I hadn't read from my notes.
I was thinking
Do we-
it's kilojoule, but then I switched last second.
Yeah. Do we have time for one more donation before we hit this next segment?
Sure, I can do one more donation. That donation is $10 from Allie. Longtime viewer and donator to GDQ. So happy we're back and with so much energy. I am ridiculously excited for ICO. Let's get that secret mace, which we got.
Which we got, and it helped us on the elevator, so it was still worth it. Yeah. All right, and now, thankfully, Yorda saved us, but maybe her fate wasn't as bleak as we thought after all. We're just running along a beach until we get to Yorda, and then we'll see what the IGT was for this run. And as we do that, I think it's a good time for Blink and Ruby to share about your streams and what people can do if they follow you, what they'll get, what they're in store for. Blink?
Yeah. Ruby, please, you first.
Oh,
yeah.
sure. Well, hi. My name's RUBIEHART. I am a actor, a streamer, and a speedrunner. And I am primarily a speedrunner of Shadow of the Colossus. I did a run yesterday as well, which was an absolute joy and honor to be here raising money for Doctors Without Borders and being able to share that game with so many people. And then thanks to Sancho, I've been able to learn a lot more of this run. And I have other games I'm going to be focusing as well, but that's me.
Ruby's awesome. You should check out Ruby. And I'm Blinkoom. I'm also a streamer. I also speedrun ICO. And you can find me Twitch, Twitter, everywhere. But I just want to take a second here to thank Sancho for having me on his couch. Sancho truly is like a pillar of the ICO speedrunning community. Almost everyone in the community learned from him, has been taught by him, and he's always been there developing the route, developing resources to help people, the world record progression, everything. So
And is the current world record holder too, which should not be slighted in the ways. Yeah.
And I think he probably has something to call here.
And right now is time.
Yeah.
All right, we will wait around just for fun to see what the IGT was. It usually ends up being about 4 minutes under what the RTA is. The RTA is a 1:37:05.
What is your world record at this moment, just so we can see how close you got?
Oh, well, I mean, you mean with the mace?
Yes.
This wasn't that close. I was making jokes and then missing jumps because of it, so I don't even want to say.
Fair.
I think I'll just put this one up on the leaderboard, and anybody who can beat it, I will make some eco horns for you, like the ones that were on display during the interview. All right, so we'll just see here what our final IGT is, and this will be it for our run. And you can find me on SanchoPanda on Twitch, and you'll get more of the same if you do. My stream is The Cure for Insomnia. I stream really late at night, and I play Journey and Eco and more calm games like that. 1:33:07,
Nice.
not too bad
Well
with
done.
the mace. Yep. Thank you guys so much. Musical Daredevil, you killed it. You did a great job. Thank you so much. We're good.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
And of course, thank you, SanchoPanda. That was so much fun. What an amazing run, amazing commentary. I love when runs get fun like that. We have a $25 donation from Eric. Watching SGDQ with my girlfriend, it's been a tradition since we started dating 2 years ago. We wouldn't miss it. And with that, we are going to take a short break, so stick around. Summer Games Done Quick 2022 will be right back. Welcome back to Summer Games Done Quick 2022. We have our next run coming up, Grand Theft Auto Vice City soon. Definitive Edition is currently leading the bid war by quite a bit, $3,100. But in the meantime, we have $50 from Kai. Thank you to MSF for all the amazing work you do. And now for a quick word from our sponsors.
Hello there.
Working at the Yeti, making church for charity. Long hours in the warehouse, spreading the love and helping out. Spreading the love and helping out. Screen printing, rating those iced teas. They're so beautiful and so comfortable.
Okay. All right, just want to do a very quick check-in on our bonus game, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. We are just about to cross $39,000 raised, which puts us, if I'm doing my math correctly, as Mathical Daredevil I think I am now, at about $50,000 to go. And we don't have that many more runs before we get there, so definitely get your donations in to get that bonus game added to the schedule. In the meantime, we are actually going to go to an interview with our Phasmophobia runners, along with Kungfufruitcup. So take it away, all of you in the interview area.
Hello, Kungfufruitcup here, and I am joined by a large party of people about to do a really, really awesome speed run. So this is Peace Egg, we have FlannelKat, we have NPC, and we have Brossentia. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Oh,
Yeah.
This is a rowdy bunch. This is going to be an awesome run. We've been
Possibly.
having a lovely time talking so far. So I wanted to open up with a Twitter question for you all because I thought it was really important. This is from @3hams. He says, where are you? Who are you? Are you there? What do you want? Why are you here? Are you angry? Should we leave? Where are you? Are you there?
Far. Yes.
I'm close.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, okay.
Also old.
Angry.
Okay, so this is going to go into a little bit of like how this run works. So I wanted to kind of start with you, Peace Egg, and maybe help me out to explain a little bit on like how this run is going to go down. Because there are a lot of people who may be watching right now and it's like, what is Phasmophobia? I've never played it. Or like, okay, I know what it is, but like, how do you speedrun it?
Oh, yeah. So Phasmophobia is a game where you go into a house or sometimes more haunted places. There's a ghost somewhere in that house. You've got to find where it is, kind of its headquarters, which is kind of our tactic. Find that as quickly as you can. Start digging into evidence. You use different ghost hunting tools like maybe a stud finder that is now secretly an EMF reader, or a Connect that has been rebranded into what we call dots and stuff like that. You put that down, the ghost, if it interacts with it, that's evidence. You find, usually for most ghosts, 3 pieces of evidence. You figure out what the ghost is, you leave the house in any percent, and you don't come back.
In any percent, right? They know for the casual players, they have like extra objectives.
Yeah, there's extra objectives if you want more money. We don't care about that. We're ghost hunters on a, we have a short amount of time and a lot of houses to visit.
Right,
so.
yeah, so that's going to be happening tonight. So you're doing all small
there'll be
structures?
Yeah, all small maps. So it's going to be 6 houses. That's 4 normal-looking houses and 2 farmhouses. We're going to go through those as quickly as we can, get a ghost correct in each one of them, and then get the heck out.
Yes, that makes sense. I mean, obviously, we're speedrunning this, but I kind of want to do that anyway.
Yeah,
just like make sure I hit out. So then for more of you here, I wanted to know a little bit, maybe Brossentia, we were chatting for a little bit about what makes this interesting as a speedrun? Like, what really drew you to it?
Honestly, I've done a lot of different speedruns, and I usually go for something weird. And this game, I think it first showed up as a meme game for a lot of people. That everybody was playing it when it first came out. But at this point, it's settled down to where there's still, even despite how much we have played this game, there's still surprises. The last time that we ran this at a marathon, they updated the game the day of, added 3 new ghosts, and added different behaviors for some of the ghosts. And we actually were able to use some of the new stuff within the run. So it's like a live, continuously evolving puzzle that we get to play with today. And honestly, I feel like this is a very approachable game for a lot of people. And it's just exciting because even no matter how well you know the game, it still surprises you a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's still scary. I feel like they've made it even scarier with the updates as it's gone along. And that kind of leads me into another question I want to throw at you from Twitter, which is from Moonblazewolf. Who's the most likely to get killed by a ghost during your run tonight?
Yeah, Brossentia.
Well, it's just me, okay? I'm sort of the designated corpse. The thing is, although there are the base pieces of evidence that you can get from the ghosts, there are additional behaviors per ghost. And sometimes the best way to figure out what kind of ghost it is to try to get it to kill somebody. And if it does, then you might hear how fast it's running or like where it's going. Or if it walks through me and decides to go for somebody else, we know what kind of ghost it is.
Interesting. That makes sense. It's actually a really good technique because, I mean, you are a full party of 4, so that's not a bad strategy to include.
And losing me is fine. Like, honestly, they don't need my brain quite as much as they need the others. They need my dead body more.
So then you are the sacrifice, right? So
Yeah.
Moving from that, for the rest of you, what would you say like your specialties are then within the team? Like, what are you best at, or what do you tend to do in the speed runs? Let's start with you, NPC.
I'm the person that buys all the equipment for everybody to use. So my ability is giving everybody everything they need in order to find the ghost.
Okay.
He's underselling himself.
Well, no, I still do investigative work because there's still stuff that you do inside the van. You're checking sanity levels to make sure that there's some ghosts like a demon that hunt when it's an average of 70%. So you want to see if everybody is under 70%, and if it's around there, and if there's a hunt going, you know, that's a clue that it could be a demon or it could be a fae or. So that's my job, and I do hunt and look for the ghost as well.
Yes.
Honestly, when we're trying to find the location of the ghost, he pins it down pretty much right away.
Yes.
Okay, so you would say that overall, just to generalize a little bit, but like you tend to be the one to stay in the van and keep track of all like the metrics.
Yeah, but at the very beginning, we need to find where that ghost is immediately. That's like the first thing we need to know.
Yeah.
So we're all running around with different pieces of equipment trying to find it.
And then when we know, he's like, I'm back to the van. Yeah, I'll have fun.
Yeah, that would be I would totally take up that role because I'm such a wuss. I just like can't. Okay, then FlannelKat, for you, like what would you say is the thing that you tend to do the most or enjoy the most about it?
The thing I tend to do the most is, 1, activate the power for the house, and 2, steal the bunny from the house.
You steal the bunny.
But, you know, other than that, I'm usually the one that's able to say, oh, we don't have EMF this time. We don't have Spirit Box. Don't try to get it.
Okay.
And
Oh, interesting. So you help like to rule out things as soon as possible and make sure you have power in the house.
absolutely.
Cool. That's great. I think that's I mean, again, I like seeing the differences in the team already, and we haven't even gotten to you, PSEG. So
Yeah. So I just grabbed the camcorder and a UV light, and I'm basically there. Everybody else is using temperature guns, trying to find the ghost room from the get-go. I'm kind of the one going for the kind of wild, the long shot of finding a ghost orb, a little dust speck floating through the air. If I find that or I hear the door, I immediately drop the camera, get a UV light, start checking for fingerprints, things of that nature. I'm the one looking for kind of the outside shot, and I'm just running around the house while they're doing like more official stuff, like trying to determine definitively what the ghost room is. I'm just like there eventually all chime and say, hey, no, I found an orb. Get over here.
Yeah.
This is where you are.
For sure. Yeah, no, I love it. Again, I love this, like hearing it, I can hear your kind of teamwork. You're like, we know how to split it up. We know how to divide it.
Yep.
Everybody's got their thing. That's wonderful. So I'm going to go into another Twitter question because I think this is a great time. This is from N Weasel, who says, what's the biggest challenge or unskippable randomness in speedrunning a game like Phasmophobia?
When a ghost is quiet.
Yeah.
The ghost is quiet.
Yeah, when the ghost is doing nothing.
Okay.
And that's one of the biggest hurdles that we've had to get past. You know, there's one ghost, for example, that's notorious called a shade. And specifically, it doesn't like when multiple people are in the room and it's quiet. And then, so you run around. There are ways to provoke the ghost and try to make it do something.
So what would you say is a technique you would use for something so quiet?
I would probably go and grab a cursed object and drive my sanity through the ground. I usually drive mine pretty low pretty quickly, and NPC's always scared. He's like, Brossentia, you're gonna die, and I'm like, I'm fine. It's fine. No, yeah. I'm the sacrifice. And so when you bring your average sanity down, for example, with a shade, if you have 2 people in the same room, no matter how low your sanity gets, it will not try to kill you.
Interesting.
So that is a piece of evidence that you can use if it's just being slow. The thing, like, you have to take risks. There's a lot that you can do that when you're playing casually, you just don't want to do. But the more you get used to the game, the less scary it gets to play with those mechanics. And when you do, it gets really exciting and fun.
For sure, because then you're going more into the technique and like the skill rather than just being like, oh my gosh, I'm being chased.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so then, I can see it transforming for you. I'm not at that point, so I will be very happy watching you all do it. So then, with preparing for, this evening, going into this, what would you say are like the things that you do the most or like the ways that you've communicated the best in order to get ready for this, besides just doing it?
Yeah, Kat, what do you think?
I mean, just playing it a lot. I mean, I know you said besides just doing it, but we had a meeting earlier today of just like, all right, what are we taking into the house, and what are we all going to try to go for first, and remembering to do certain things like leaving an EMF reader by the circuit breaker just in case it's a gin, and just mostly just making sure we're on the same page, not taking the same equipment in, and just spreading out when we first get in the house.
Yeah. Have you noticed a trend? Like, do certain ghosts tend to show up more than others? Now, apparently, I said in the pre-show there were 21 types, now 24.
I mean, until yesterday, they were showing up. There was an update yesterday or the day before that evened it out because they had 2 new ghosts.
3 new ghosts.
3. Whatever. 2, 3, 5. It's all the same. Heck, they could update the game in the next 5 minutes, and we would be running that version. And please don't do that, Dennis.
We had to do same day.
Kind of please do that, but probably don't.
It would be very entertaining, but then you would be.
It would be hilarious.
Under the bus.
It would be interesting.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and say that. But like, I don't remember. What was the question?
Basically, just what tends to show up the most. But you said balance.
The new ghost that they had in the game that they put in had a higher chance of showing up until about a couple days ago when they're like, okay, it's been 2 weeks. Everything's more or less even now. Although it seems like there's sometimes a pattern where you keep getting the same ghost, like 1 or 2 or 3 houses in a row.
What have you gotten the most lately? Been prepping for this?
We got a lot of poltergeists today.
Yeah. I usually get it's between poltergeists and phantoms, and that can be a pain in the butt if you have 2 evidences that it doesn't want to give you.
Oh, yeah, I can definitely see that.
I don't like phantoms.
Are you going to try to leave with not all 3 pieces of evidence, or do you always try to get all 3?
If we have definitively what it is, like we know, okay, we got EMF on the circuit breaker, we can just go, or if we get the Deogen's special breathing into the microphone.
Spirit box.
If we ask the ghost question, it's like, then we're like, oh, it's this ghost, we're gone.
Interesting. So there are specific pieces of evidence that like cater to one ghost entirely. Like,
exactly.
That's really cool. I actually didn't know that. Awesome. Okay, well, I could talk to you for a long time. This has been such a pleasure. But I'm going to leave you to getting ready for the run. I'm so excited. This is going to be wonderful. Plus, we have some other great runs coming up. We got one more before this. So I'm going to hand it back up to the host. And please, everyone stick around. Check this run out. It's going to be so much fun. You can tell if you've been here for the last few minutes. So thanks again, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Kungfufruitcup. That run does look extremely hype, so I know I will definitely be sticking around for that one. In the meantime, we are still getting set up for Grand Theft Auto Vice City Definitive Edition. So I'm going to check in quickly. We have passed $40,000 on our bonus game, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, so keep those donations coming in. We have $50 from Gibbibit and Ducky. Thanks to the GDQ staff and runners for an awesome event. Always love seeing new games that we've never seen before. First time watching live. And with that, we are all ready to go on our next run. And speaking of runs we've never seen before, this is the definitive edition of Grand Theft Auto Vice City. So KZ Fru, it's all yours.